Greetings, everyone. Habari Gani. Tonight is our night of Kwanzaa, where we are observing the principle of Nia, which means purpose. And I apologize for being a little late. Thank you so much for everybody who is here live and everyone who is going to watch the rebroadcast. I really appreciate you. So, tonight we're going to talk about purpose and why that is something, that is really important to me. So, real quick, purpose. I was thinking about a conversation that we had when I was on the delayed entry program for the Navy. Someone asked my recruiter, or at the time it was our recruiter, okay, I work as well, my job in the Navy is a dental tech. So, do I have to go fight the war? And my recruiter, his response was, being a dental tech, that is the way you are participating in the war or the overall mission of the Navy. And that always stayed up in my mind. I'm like, okay, because trying to paint this picture of what the big picture of the Navy was. I was 17 at the time. I did not know how the world worked, and I still don't know. But when my recruiter said that to her, that her job as a dental tech, cleaning teeth, storing dental records, that was how she was serving the overall mission of the Navy in the war on terrorism. So when you look at our community as a small Navy, or just for lack of a better word, this aircraft carrier, and that's exactly what an aircraft carrier was. It was a small floating city. You are a piece of that puzzle. So whatever your job is, your unique purpose, your Nia, that's how you serve the overall greater good and the betterment of our community. It could be your job is a sanitation worker, your job as a teacher. And I've been thinking about Marva Collins a lot, and I still have to put that video together about Brown versus the Board of Education. I keep talking about it. I'm still trying to paint a story for that. With being a teacher, you may be a daycare worker. You may work at the grocery store. You may work at the library. You may be a stay at home mom. You may be a football coach. Whatever your purpose is, whatever you've been driven to do, that is your Nia, your purpose. So you be the best there is, and you do that to your fullest capacity. Um, Again, like I said, tonight we lit our candle for Nia. So I'm coming from this book, The 7 Days of Kwanzaa by Dr. Angela Madeira. I'm sorry, Angela Madeira. And so her definition for purpose in her book on page 10 is to have a plan for the future and to be willing to help others succeed as well. That extra portion, to help others to succeed. Many of us, all of us, we are so well rounded. We have, tools and resources to help our brother and sister out. We also have to mentor our children as well. We have to look at what we bring to each other and how we can help uplift each other. It makes no sense to hoard all these talents and know-how and information to yourself. What you're supposed to do is help out the community, help out your brother or sister with that as well. And I really like that. So if there's any way I can help you out, any way that we can share our talents with each other to help uplift and proceed to make our futures better, that's what this platform is here for. That's my Nia, that's my purpose. That's the reason why I started my YouTube channel. My son said, Mom, you know a lot of stuff and you're always talking to people and connecting with people, so you should start a YouTube channel. And that's what I strive to do here. That's my purpose, my Nia, with my online platform in person. Oh my gosh, we have a good time in person. So I just want to give a shout out to Brother Daryl. Thank you for being here from North Carolina. Like I said, I've met probably the finest gentleman from North Carolina. So I'm happy that you are here. So speaking of our children, I want to refer back to this book. Shout out to Brother JT who put me onto this book, Black Family Rituals, Rites of Passage for the African American Family. And this is by Edward Sims Jr. and Thomas Gale Snowden. I absolutely love this book. This is just a book of how we can have our own ceremonies and our own celebrations. As you know, this year I went and I finally got a chance to visit the Gullah people of St. Helena Island, and just to have something of culture, of ritual that is exclusive to us, that empowers us, and we can pass it down to our children and keep our traditions alive, to keep our language, our ways alive, our stories. That's where Black family rituals come in. So with our children, there was one portion here that was really important that I wanted to read tonight for Kwanzaa, and it's part of the introduction, and it is ritual as a means of strengthening the African American family life. And it goes from, in order to clearly understand the African American family structure and lifestyle, we must first be made aware of the effects of the affects and effects of the slave system on our forebears, who were transported in chains on ships to America in the early 17th century. And that was important to me when I read that. It stuck with me because we've been taught that the only history that we have is that of being of slaves, you know. But no, something that clicked in the recent years was that no, our ancestors were not just slaves. These were medicine men and women. These were teachers. These were, you know, farmers. When I saw it for myself on the East Coast, those were rice farms, rice plantations that were maintained by Black people. We knew the land. For a group of people to have been stolen from the west coast of Africa and maintain our traditions and still carry those out, it was so beautiful. One thing I learned that I want to share with you, it was on a plantation tour. This is how great we are as a people. We do not have to worry about mosquito-borne illnesses such as malaria and stuff like that, because the way that our blood is set up, we have a natural immunity to it. Let me know if you know that or if you heard that before, but we don't have to worry about mosquito-borne illnesses, and that's why our ancestors worked the marshes and the coast, the East Coast, without any issues. And that's why the plantation owners and overseers would not come out to those portions, and we were able to survive and thrive out there because we have a natural immunization to malaria. I thought that was like really cool. I'm like, wow, you know, God loves us. And that's one thing that, you know, made us unique to survive. And that's why us who are here today, we're still here, because our people were just great. I don't know. That just, it made me smile. And that was something they put out on the plantation tour. And you want me to, I talk about that in some other videos. So and the notions and racist teachings that the Africans were cursed by God and were condemned to be hewers of wood and drawers of water factored significantly into the plan to enslave African people. Like I said, with our oral traditions, our written history, and how the elders and how our texts from, for lack of a better word, back in the day, our historical texts just show us how great we are. The writings on the wall, you just have to travel, you have to find it, you have to sit and listen, you have to dig for it, you have to be exposed to the right media and travel and talk to people to find out these things. So it's like I said, a good brother from Georgia put me onto this. So I'm like so happy. But not, the purpose of Nia is to not let others and outside influences define who you are. We define who we are. We tell our stories. We are gatekeepers of our stories and our traditions, and it's up to us to teach our children. That's why there's a need for a re-education, or to re-educate the miseducated. So the next thing I wanted to go to that ties in with Nia, and that is ritual number 1, the naming and blessing ceremony for the African American family. Now, in other cultures, belief systems, they have, this naming ceremony. There was someone that I knew really well, and she would tell us the story behind her name and how she had her names. But with us, we just kind of get names. Some people, well, I won't say some people, but it's quite common that, when a child is born, we just name them something that sounds cute, or, I really like this name, but we kind of don't have any meaning or significance behind it. Um, at times when I see that boy children are named after their fathers, and the fathers were named after the grandfathers, because these were great men and that name get passed down. That was what was so significant with my son. I loved his father so much. His father is a great man, so I wanted him to know, his father was great by naming him after his father. So whenever he writes his name, he says his name, he's speaking the greatness of his father, of his brother, of his grandfather. Just speaking that greatness. And he's even said if when he has a son, he's going to carry on that name. And that's why with me, names is so important. So here, like I said, we have ritual number one, which was the naming and blessing ceremony for African American children. And was saying the purpose of the African American family rituals and ceremonies is to project Black culture, religion, and history into the major events affecting the Black family. These events are marriage, birth, coming of age, and death. The intent of the naming and blessing ceremony is to facilitate the formal entry of a new baby into the home and community. We believe that through a medium of a ritual created through the fusion of African and African American religious and cultural experience seeks to reaffirm the importance of a child being born into the home. That's why it's so important that we start rituals. Like, yes, we're really into the commercial, side of things, like, oh, I have a baby shower, the gender reveal, but maybe with our new babies coming into 2020, we have a naming ceremony where we not just celebrate the gender and we find out you're having a baby. We celebrate their name, and maybe that will put more importance in rearing the child and nurturing the child and gearing them into the future, because the children that we have now, these are our future. We're not gonna be young and and agile and able forever. We're gonna be replaced, and we want to make sure that we are replaced with the greatest. So um if there is something significant behind your name or how you named your children, put that in the comments, let me know. And that will help, people who come and visit this video, because one thing that is searched online, baby names. I remember there was a book about African American names, because like myself, I was ashamed of my name. I wanted it to be something different. But the more and more I started discovering my purpose, I wasn't meant to blend in. I wasn't meant to hide. But, I'm still here to learn. And when I'm, an ancestor long and gone, and when someone says Taisha Essex, what will they think of me? What will come up in their mind? What was my purpose? Did I live up to my purpose? And that's one of the goals that I put on my vision board going into 2020. Will I things to help me continue living in my purpose? So I'm going to see who's here. I know it's late on the East Coast. Kareem, it's always good to see you. Your name is amazing. Brother Kofi, he said, I have a lot of men named Otis in my family. Yes, like definitely see where that comes from, and find out the significance behind your name and different names, and then you start piecing stuff together. I talked about Mary Fields a couple of nights ago, and her last name Fields. Her family was enslaved in Tennessee, and they worked the fields. So that's where her last name Fields came from, because she worked the fields. So that had me thinking about different names and stuff like that. Let you in on a little, story. Every time I come in a contact, I'll say every time. majority of the time when I come in contact with someone who has been to the UK or from the UK and they see my last name, like, oh, Essex, or they're from like New Jersey, they're like, oh yeah, there's a Essex County out there. You know that name is from England. And I'm like, yeah, it's possible. Well, 9 times out of 10, I won't say it's possible, but I'm like, yeah. So from what I heard, my family was enslaved by the English. And then they go, ooh, and they get real quiet and walk away. And inside, I just laugh with the most evilest laugh because I'm like, yeah, that's where it came from. Shout out to my mother who is doing our genealogy through records, not the DNA test. I'm not sure if you saw the article where they are advising military to not partake in the over-the-counter DNA test because the privacy and how they disseminate your personal information, like that's your what is it, PII, so they're advising not. And I never advise anyone to take those DNA tests because I'm like, okay, my people was stolen, but you're gonna charge me to find out where you stole me from? Please back. So my mom is doing all that via paperwork. And we found different names, last names like Lanier from Georgia. And what was so funny was that I work with a guy, last name is Lanier from Georgia. So I went to go talk to him about it. It was quite interesting. And I'm learning that there was a group where you just put your last name in there and other people with that last name will comment and y'all get into contact with each other and trace where you came from. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. So I put myself in there. I put my mom, her maiden name. I put some other stuff in there to see who we link up to. And yeah, it's quite interesting. But purpose, if I leave with anything tonight, it will be to, if you haven't discovered your purpose just yet, one disadvantage that we have, with our community is we don't know our purpose coming up, and then we get the boot at 18 to go find yourself. And sometimes that breaks people, and some people get into situations that have really disqualified them or put up a lot of obstacles when they finally do come around and find their purpose. I would say if you have found your purpose and you're striving to it, look to your right, look to your left, look behind you, look in front of you, and help those around you, or get resources and help from them to help you continue on your purpose and help them as well. But mainly to focus on our children. A lot of us who are legal adults, we are lost. And for a lot of us, we can't be saved. We just gonna have to charge each other to the game. But for those of us who can be salvaged, but mainly we can pour our time and resources into our children to re-educate them, to keep them on the right path. Do not give up on them. There are a lot of destructive avenues out there that our children and our young adults get taken into because we have not set up anything for them to be successful. We have not stood as mentors or set a good example for them to want to follow us. So they look at the next thing that looks like success and they'll go after that. And oftentimes it leads to destruction, wasted time, wasted resources, and unfortunately their demise. So take it upon yourself to live in your purpose, but also gear our younger generations into their purpose early on so that they're not, one of those that we have to just, sorry for you, and just let evolution do what it do. And I know that's kind of hard to say, kind of tough, but there's some of us that can't be saved. I just charge them to the game. I'm already gonna let you know. I'm happy, like Art Cathy said, thank the ancestors, thank the universe for evolution, because we're all changing and growing. Some people are not growing good and growing things, but yeah, all that good stuff. Head to the comments real quick. My mother had a book of African names. Oh my gosh. Yes, I always brag on your library. If you have a book or any links, if anybody have any links on different names, because I was still looking at names that describe me. I'm just Taisha. I really grown to accept and love and what I've accomplished as Taisha. Taisha, she black before she get there, and that's just me. And then I remember in kindergarten, my teacher was like, I've never seen a word with 3 consecutive vowels. So I thought it was something wrong with me. I'm like, well, shoot, should I write it Tyesha? No, I'm just Taisha. And in my school, there's a Taisha, Maisha, Naisha, all the Ishas in my school. I was just one of many, but I was the only one spelled like that. And actually, it's so funny because I have a cousin whose name is Taisha Essex. And with Essex, it's spelled Esssex like mine. Oh, you also have a branch of family which is Essix, which is cool. But her name is Taisha Essex. So there is another one on in this world. But yeah, if you have that book, let me know. But yeah, I was looking at different things as far as like my last name. I mean, my last name has been changed because of marriage. But I really don't want to. Whenever someone comes to me, oh yeah, that's an English last name. Well, I'm not English. I don't say Cheerio, and I don't, eat. I don't go to the pub and tea and crumpets and stuff. So, so I was thinking. I mean, I will get married again, so I will leave my last name, up in the air for whatever it's gonna be. But when you get married and divorced, okay, that's a free name change, okay? So you have an opportunity when you get married and you write your name that you want to be, you can become whoever you want. And when you get divorced, you can write and become whoever you want, okay? So that's some free advice for you. I had someone that had told me a story when they got divorced. They changed their first, middle, and last name and became somebody completely different. I'm like, that's what's up. That's taking your name and your Nia, your purpose into your own hands. Can Kiana, how are you doing tonight? Happy Kwanzaa. Daryl, correction. Taisha with the beautiful eyes. Oh, you okay? Don't get flued out, okay? Thank you so much. You just give me some of the most amazing compliments. Solo Dolo, always good to have you here. Rob from Bama, happy Kwanzaa to both of y'all. I love y'all so much. But yeah, that's just purpose. How will you move closer to your purpose? Are you doing things within your realm? Are you living in your purpose? This year has been, like I said, it's just been monumental. I've just been reflecting, and as things have happened this year, I've been like, wow, this is naturally me. I'm not trying to fit in with people who don't like me. I'm not trying to become something that I'm not supposed to be. I'm just me. You're gonna like Taisha or you're not. And if you don't like me, okay, that's what's up. If you do, let's have a good time. So I've made some amazing connections this year. I have some great memories. I'm thinking about putting it together. I always task myself with stuff, and then I'm up all night trying to make it happen, because I guess my purpose is this, to create content, tell stories, connect with everyone, and just, I don't know, just live life transparent, I guess. But yeah, I was thinking about doing like a year review and put some videos, some stories together. That's like what people are doing right now. But I have another video to record after this. I am going to do some modifications to my firearms. And yes, I hope that you enjoy that. One thing in my purpose, like I said, we were sent out into this world to find ourselves. Well, I was sent out to kind of find yourself. Don't come back to Cincinnati worse than how you left. And the morning that I was getting on the van to go to MEPS in Indianapolis, then I was flew out to Great Lakes or Chicago, Illinois for boot camp. My recruiter, his words to me was, come back greater than how you are leaving. Don't come back a failure. And I'm like, yes, sir. And I took that as a warning as I was leaving, to not fail boot camp. Don't come home early. You can just stay there and graduate and do stuff. But now that I look at it, I haven't had a chance to live in my hometown since I left. But Cincinnati is still my home. I still love it. It sucks what's going on when I come back to see it, how the first 48, it's kind of glamorizing, the ugly side of it, while gentrification is changing everything. It's really, really scary. But if anything, I hope to inspire the residents that's still there, the Cincinnatians, take some ownership in our city. That's our city. I've met people around the world, but ain't nobody like a Cincinnati. And I gotta tell you that we are a unique breed. We are one of a kind, and it's a great story behind it. And I just found out some unique Black history about Cincinnati. I'll put a link in the description. I just found out some great Black history. I'm like, wow, why didn't we learn this in school? It's really it's wild. So we'll go to the comments. What is this? Kareem, your name should give you a sign of your purpose. Absolutely, absolutely. Just with you telling me your history of your name and how your parents named you and your sister is beautiful, so that when your child grows up and recites who they are, says their name, and if someone gives them some kind of flack about it, my name means this. I have power. You know, kings and queens, the princes and the prince and the princesses, they can stand firm in who they are and proud of it. So let's think about meaning. I know with our community, you may have a government name, but then you'll have a nickname. You'll ask one like, "Hey, what's your name?" Man. Well, what's your government name? So a lot of times, even if our government doesn't reflect who we are, we're given a nickname or something like that. But yeah, just referring to yourself as something other than the bad word, as just slaves, as B words, as H's, the WH's. You're not just that. You are something greater. And just make sure that people put some respect on your name. People call me everything under the sun, not cuss word wise, but they probably do, but I don't care, because it's what you answer to, not what you're called. But people say Tanisha, Takesha, Tisha, Tiasha. I've been Tisha Esex. I don't let it bother me at times, but I do get on some people when they just keep doing it blatantly. If we're doing business and you want to call me Tisha or Taisha, no, we're doing business. I am Miss Essex, and I will address you as such. So yeah, just ensure that you're living in your purpose, and you just put out vibes of respect. Your presence commands authority and respect, and you carry yourself in dignity. But living in your purpose, if I can hit on that real quick. As a Black woman, the examples that we have of Black womanhood, which is actually femalehood, on mainstream media and magazines, it's not in the best light. It will tell you that this type of lifestyle, you're not going to, it tells you that you're not happy. And then you go and start finding yourself and searching for yourself. And it's expensive, it's destructive, and it's no fun. I would tell you, living in my element as a mother, a wife, as a teacher, a sister, a friend, a nurturer. Yes, I give off this hard target, appearance and persona, but although I have firearms all over the place, and and whenever I meet someone who probably doesn't have any firearms, or they'll know me because of that, they're kind of intimidated. I'm like, no, because my defenses are to defend my family and things that I love. I will never use my weapons within my home on those that I'm supposed to love. That makes absolutely zero sense. So yes, I'm by heart, I am soft-hearted, I'm super emotional, but I'm a woman. We're supposed to be emotional. I don't understand when people say, oh, you're so emotional, and do something with your emotions. You're not supposed to be numb, because as a woman, I knew when my son needed something before he would cry for it. I knew when it was time to feed him. I knew if he was uncomfortable. I knew if he had an itch. I knew if he wanted to be held. I knew when he was about to wake up. And that's just the way that the Creator made me, And once I stopped running from that and ignoring that, that's when you become really sane, you know, because when you're out there not living in your purpose, you become really insane. I love being in the kitchen cooking. I know that with society, oh, you know, it's going back into slavery to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and in the house. This is my safe place. I told y'all before, my resume, military, law enforcement. And one thing I noticed with the men that are the males that I worked with, their wives were at home while they worked. And my ass is catching hell from them. And I'm like, I got the game totally messed up. Exactly. So, yeah, you really have to deprogram from that malware that's been installed in you. You know, you really have to look at things with a greater lens. Like, okay, here I am trying to go shoulder to shoulder and be one of the guys, but they wives at home. Yes. So it really just clicked in me, you know, that I needed to do more things within the home, be more in my element. And I'm just grateful to have that opportunity to share that here on YouTube with the family. I've been cooking more, and as a plus, I've saved a lot of money. I've saved a lot of money. I've been trying to hold on to it and not go spend it on something else. I just got off the phone with my sister, and she's like, think about that purchase. I'm like, but I need it. But I don't know. We'll see. I found a good deal. I'll reveal it to y'all soon. But I've had the opportunity to, you know, shop with more local black owned businesses, you know, support other people's platforms, but also to cooking my own food. Oh my gosh, like I have not gained any weight. You may see, okay, Taisha, you eating this, you eating that, you off the vegan trip, but I have not gained any weight because I cook everything at home. I save money. I feel better, and it's like a boost of confidence. Wow, I can do that. One of my favorite songs, and I love the remake of it. The original was sang by Shaka Khan, I'm Every Woman. And I love the remake that Whitney Houston did because she had Shaka in the song, but the lyrics of that song, I'm every woman, it's all in me. That is so empowering because when I listen to it, women, we are every woman. We can do everything. We can cook your food. We can put you back together when you done fell apart. We can birth your children. We can take care of your children. We can dry tears with this hand. We can be doing something else and running a business with that hand. I'm every woman. So are you. And I know that it's James Brown who says that it's a man's world, but there's nothing without a woman or a girl. I'm every woman, but I am nothing without my man next to me. So that's how I found my purpose and living in my purpose. And that's what keeps me smiling. Let's see what else we have in here. The military flew out so many. Yes, flew out so many of us. Yes, they did. Mansa Musa, happy Kwanzaa to you. I gotta have fried. I gotta have chicken fried rice and chicken every now and then. I'm actually about to cook. I talked about this the other night, but I forgot to put my shrimp in the sink. I'm about to cook some honey walnut shrimp with veggie spring rolls, and I have a cauliflower that I'm about to attempt cauliflower fried rice. So wish me luck on that. So yes, also too, if you have a recipe you want me to try, one thing I do is try to cook fast food meals or fast food favorites at home so that I can show you how easy it is, encourage you to do it so that we don't have to go to different places and get bad customer service. And the reason why I'm doing honey walnut shrimp is because I absolutely hate Panda Express. That crap is so freaking salty. Oh my gosh. And then one thing too, as a positive, when you cook at home, you're in control of the seasonings. Oh my gosh, food tastes so much better. It's just not salt, 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 sugar, salt, salt, sugar. It's so much better. But that is all I have for you tonight. This was just a quick video on Nia for this night of Kwanzaa. But it's not just for tonight. One thing that I want to encourage you is to instill these principles 365. That's what I named my video back in 2017 when I did Kwanzaa 365. And I tried to bring in a principle every day and practice that, and it's only strengthening me, and it's encouraged me to continue on with our own rituals, things like that. There was a brother who had, his heart was in the right place. He gave me some history on Kwanzaa and stuff like that, but knowing that, I'm able to make a conscious decision and a conscious, choice to continue to observe, Kwanzaa, because it has brought me to a place where I'm not running from who I am. I'm not deserting my culture, and it really is bringing a respect for me, and it's catching on with others. And so, I mean, I don't see myself as an influencer. I'm kind of like influencee. I'm influenced by other great people. I'm such a novice. I can sit here on December 30th, 2019 and admit I know absolutely nothing. That's why I'm always in a book. I'm always researching. When someone provides a source or something to me, I'm constantly researching because I'm growing every day because of the great people that I surround myself around. So I know absolutely nothing. Okay. I'm still going through my re-education. So that is about it. I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight for this night of Kwanzaa. We have 2 nights left. It's just going to be great. So I'm thinking that maybe tomorrow or the first we'll kind of go somewhere, because yes, I've been doing everything early, and then also too, this is kind of like my vacation, so I've been taking like a nap. Yes, I reached that age in life where I need a nap. I can't just hang out like that anymore. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to. But definitely connect with me. Let me know what you're doing for Kwanzaa. Any ideas on how we can implement some things into next year. One thing I started this year was observing our own holidays. Shout out to Dr. Barashango. I've been deep in his books. I love him. I listened to him as I was driving across country. Um, so yeah, that's about it. Let's see. If you have any events that is going on in your hometown, let me know. I'll share those. You can post those here. And if there's other videos on YouTube you want me to check out, let me know. Before I forget, I am going to suggest a movie if you want to watch it. And that is Rosewood. The Rosewood Massacre is coming up as well. So I watch that every year. If you're trying to find different movies, to watch during Kwanzaa, a brother suggested Posse. I watched this other movie called Brother Future. It's on YouTube. That is a great movie. It's from back in the day, but it is really interesting. I watched Brother Future. Um, so I'm going to watch Rosewood, and I'm going to also watch The Great Debaters. So that's something that you might want to check out as well. I want to give a shout out to Solo Dolo. Thank you for the super chat. If you have given a super chat within the last couple of days for Kwanzaa, send me an email with your address, and I want to personally send you a thank you in the mail, because I really appreciate you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to watch me. You don't have to give me your time. But for the fact that you're here, I really appreciate you. So definitely email me, either info@TaishaEssex.com or Taisha.Essex@gmail, and send me your information. And I got something in store for you. I really appreciate you. Brother Kofi, I made a plant-based spaghetti tonight. I can send you the recipe. Definitely do that. I have that one tool called the Veggetti, where you can make noodles with cucumbers, carrots, whatever. So yes, I'm definitely interested. Glad you ruffled some feathers last night. And you know what? it just goes back to my first principle of Kwanzaa, which was not my first principle, but my first video on Kwanzaa unity. You don't want unity with everybody, but you are also going to be a defender of anyone that tries to, break up your unity and get you off track. So before I close out tonight, I just want to give a shout out to the new Black media. Before I started recording, I saw that Professor Black Truth had uploaded a video. Last night we had TBA's video and also Tariq's video, and everybody else who works diligently to give us the right media. Media is so important, and how we get our information disseminated to us to where it's not swaying us one direction or pandering us to another direction, which is really so good. Shout out to my co-host with me last night, Melvin and Danae. I love them so much. And this is how we use our platforms wisely to connect with each other and really instill Kwanzaa 365. Shout out D Tubman. I always talk about our Kathy, brother Kareem, Solo Dolo. We had Daryl tonight. My new sister, Leisha Leash, gave you a shout out. And yes, just everybody else who is just there, who really are the walking, talking, living, breathing examples of Kwanzaa 365. Chief Jay Reed and the Mrs. Shantae. Just think about everybody that I see. Just know that I love you so much and I appreciate you. And I'm so happy that these true friendships, these true relationships, we're going into another year. And that's one thing that I've searched for a long time, is those true friendships, those true relationships and connections. That's not just, okay, well, we're just drinking buddies, or I owe you some money, so I'm gonna stay friends with you until you pay me back. It's true, legitimate connections. And that's what it really is about, making each other better and greater, and elevating each other. I cited a few more comments before I close out. Great movie choices. Person Kid, I love you so much. You should check out the last 2 minutes of Erica Williams' latest video. Rod from Bama. Rod from Bama. I love this brother so much because he keeps me sharp. We were watching one of the same YouTubers, Erica Williams. Oh my gosh, I've been watching her for a while. And then Rod was like, "Hey, there's a YouTuber that you ought to check out." I'm like, "Cool," and I'm like, "Oh, I'll watch her." But yes, just sharpening up your brother or sister, keeping them sharp. I am going to check out her video. She is consistent. If anything, she has shown and taught me consistency. And what she talks about in her videos is something that we could implement as far as multiple streams of income, real estate, stuff like that. Great, 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 great. Yes, and that's one thing too. Like, I'm not one of those YouTubers who's like, "Oh, don't shout out somebody else's channel on my platform." I'm like, please, if it's gonna make us better, make me better. Like I said, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. So my connections, my family, my friends help, teach me and build me up. I think one of the most idiotic things that a person can do is think that they know it all, and let their ego get in the way. I know absolutely nothing. So I thank you for that. I'm definitely going to listen to her as I'm cooking my honey walnut shrimp. She's fire at Rod. Looking for her videos now. Yes, and that is Erica with a CK at the end. So yes, that's all I have for you tonight. I'm so grateful for everybody, and I just want to wish you a happy Kwanzaa, a good night as we go into 2020. Like I said, I'm not just a YouTuber that you subscribe to, or a Facebook friend, or a connection. I am your sister. So if there's anything that I can help you out with, or point you into a resource, let me know, and vice versa. Now, I'm not gonna go and get my keyboard out the next room and start playing "Lean on Me." I'm not gonna do that. But I'm going to wish you a great night and Harambe, and I will see you on the social media streets, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.